Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brandon. Today I'm back again with part 4 of our 4 for 4 part series. Today I'm going to be talking about practicing abstinence. My journey with abstinence, my experience with practicing abstinence. What I learned, what I was able to kind of, learn about myself. Why it is I even chose to practice abstinence. Let's get right into it. Practicing abstinence for me. I've been practicing it for about 3 years now. I began that journey and decision in the beginning of the pandemic back in 2020. I guess you can kind of say the pandemic happening kind of helped me make that decision. With COVID breaking out and everything like that. The 6 feet practice and all that, the 6 feet practices and the mask wearing and all that stuff that we had to do. Kind of when everybody was kind of uncertain of what it was. I wasn't obviously going to, I wasn't looking to interact with, people on that type of level, based off, just health factors and being safe and trying to be smart and conscientious of my family members and things like that. So I kind of fell into the practice of abstinence unknowingly. It kind of just stuck with it, because I kind of, once I started to do more research and, dive into what it actually meant and the applications of it. I kind of, wanted to, again, challenge myself and see, what it is it's about and what the, the benefits of the practice is. And, kind of just being curious and to really, try new things. Again, I've, in my past, I've done things a certain way and things like that. And now this new wisdom and things that I've learned and practices that I've learned, I've tried to, implement and try new things and see, again, what the meaning of these things are and, the type of commitment, and discipline that is required to, kind of really be consistent and practice these things day out and to really, again, just be intentional. So again, what did I learn practicing abstinence? I learned a lot about myself, my self-love, protecting your energy, your essence, just understanding that, you are a unique person, and this goes for everybody, not just myself included, but everybody watching this video. You guys are unique, special, and, somebody who deserves to be, treated in a proper manner with respect and things like that. So, practicing abstinence had really just allowed me to be intentional and, diligent with who it is I share my, my energy with, and, that essence that you have, given by God, and on that type of level, to be really just, mindful and diligent in the decisions that are made when it comes to that type of, interaction. And like I said, when it comes to, again, as a male, practicing abstinence, I know it might be foreign, or it might sound crazy or things like that to some people, and it might be the right thing or the best thing to other people. But again, this for me is just my experience of, what it is I tried and my curiosity behind why it is I even chose to, walk on this journey of practicing abstinence. So again, just really, loving yourself, knowing that, you are unique and that you're not for everybody and everybody's not for you. To know that, to again, appreciate yourself, appreciate your body, appreciate, your being, whatever it is that, you bring to the table, whatever that, looks like for you, that you feel in your heart. I'm not here to justify or say what is the right thing to do or what's the wrong thing to do. Again, I'm just sharing from experience. So again, another thing that I've received and learned from, practicing abstinence is just my clarity and focus increasing. Really just being intentional on my purpose and really hone in and focus, to really have that tunnel vision, to really cut out distractions and noise, and to really, again, controlling urges and thoughts, that you might have. Again, we're all human beings, we're all, we have temptations and things that come about, when it comes to that type of, conversation. And practicing abstinence has really, allowed me to learn, more about controlling urges and thoughts. Controlling that maybe that sexual urge and that sexual thought that you might have, and turning it into something more positive, or turning that energy into something more productive, rather than just, you know, doing it as, society has kind of, became the norm of doing, which is kind of just, I feel, miscellaneous interactions, or interactions that don't really have any meaning behind them. They're just kind of, physical interactions, rather than a really deeper, connection. And through abstinence, I've even learned about the difference between a physical connection and an actual deep meaning connection when we're talking about that type of, interaction. So when I talk about converting those urges and those thoughts into different things that are productive and creative, and I'm talking about sexual transmutation. And I read the book. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about that. And so let's get into the definition of what transmutation even means. And that means a practice of channeling and directing your sexual energy into, a higher purpose, like your goals, your dreams, or your growth journey. It's great for creativity and productivity. And transmutation is the converting of one element into another element. So again, with that being said, when we talk about sexual transmutation, you might be aroused, or, you might have a temptation or a thought that might come up that might spark, maybe a sexual, a feeling or emotion. And rather than, acting on that physically, you can use that energy to put into something more creative or something more productive, like using that to work out, to, engage in an art, or a creative, activity, or hobby, or, whatever that physical productive thing looks like for you. Just channeling that into, a different type of activity, rather than just leading with that urge and that temptation that you might have in that moment, and going to, do other things, so to just be, conscious and intentional with that choice that you have, to be present and aware of the things that might arise within you, and to have that pause to now act on, okay, do I want to do this, or do I want to do that? And practicing abstinence has really helped me just, like, again, regain control over self, to really be intentional, and to be focused, and really purpose driven. Rather than, like I said, when I compare myself to my previous self, I was distracted by, temptations and things like that I thought I wanted, but they were just physical desires and attractions. They weren't really for me. I felt, it wasn't, no, when I talk about, not all of them, or not like every single one, just certain, like I said, when I talk about the temptations, when I talk about, seeing things or certain like that, whether it be on social media, the internet, or, out in public, whatever the case may be, wherever you get these things from, I mean, they come from everywhere, especially these days with, just the internet and things like that. People don't really have a choice on what it is that comes up on their feed sometimes. So just even when I talk about that type of temptation or thought that might arise, you can now channel that into something more creative or productive that might be beneficial for you, rather than allowing that temptation or thought to, do something else. So again, like I said, when I talk about abstinence, it's really just for me been a disciplinary approach to, again, like how you do one thing is how you do everything. So really just helping me, again, when it comes to fasting, meditation, when it comes to, my diet, when it comes to, who it is I would like to, share energy with, and things like that, based off, how it is I feel about myself. And again, it's not to be, cocky or arrogant with this stuff. It's just about, how to love yourself, and to know that, you are, a unique being, and that you are something special. So again, to really just be conscientious of that, and to, be intentional with who it is you share the essence with. That's really, what I feel abstinence is about. It's not about, I feel, a legalistic, or, a so strictly based reason. For me, it was just about, self-discipline, more self-love, protecting energy, to really be more purpose-driven, and to, just, again, like I said, just be intentional, to really just help me with intention and consistency. So, practicing this for 3 years, I've, really learned a lot about myself. And it's been so enlightening, and Um, you know, just yeah, it's just been a journey. Like honestly, the best way I can describe it for me. And you know, it's not to say you know limitations are you know or things like that are out there, but for me, it's just about again just sticking to promises that I make with myself and try to you know be honest with myself and hold myself accountable. Because I feel like if you can't be honest with yourself, how can you be honest with others? So again, just you know, sticking to those intentions and those goals that I set out for myself, and see how far I can push them, to see how far I can push myself, to see what I'm made of, and to see what you know what my limits are, you know, to really push myself. So that's what for me practicing abstinence was about. Just that mental discipline and that mental control over urges and temptations or thoughts that might arise based off external things that we might consume. So again, I'd like to say thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this four part series. You know, our 4 for 4 new segment that I've introduced into this channel. We talked about fasting, we talked about meditation, we talked about clean eating and a plant-based diet for me, and we talked about you know today in this episode practicing abstinence. And again, these are all points that I've shared based off my experience that I've implemented into my lifestyle. Make sure you guys definitely disclaimer, you know, speak with any professional or nutritionist or, you know, somebody who's just trained in that certain type of field that can give you the best of plan of action and direction and decisions that you should make to fit your overall well-being and place in your life. Because again, with sharing these things, I want to make sure I can, you know, also, you know, be real and to again not make it look like I know everything. I'm just sharing, you know, what I've you know learned and tried. So, with this intention with the 4 part series was to just you know help somebody else maybe that they're curious with and maybe they were having thoughts or you know ideas about, and to just let them know they're not alone and that you know it's okay to think that way, to try this. And if you don't like it, if it doesn't work for you, it's okay, and you can easily go back to you know the old diet or the old choices. So it's like it's not about you know holding or making people feel guilty or less than or more than. It's just about for me sharing, and hopefully one person can take away something from this video. So again, I'd like to say thank you guys for tuning in to you know my 4 part series. Again, you guys can check out our Destin collection, more information and announcements on our website, onesdivinedestiny.com. Links will be below in the description. If you guys would like a more in-depth video, longer video about any of the topics that I spoke about, you know, definitely let me know in the comments below, and you know I'll definitely make that. So again, thank you guys so much, and just truly grateful for you guys. Thank you again. Brandon out.